Hello everybody, BFViking here, and today I'm going to be giving some tips on how you can improve your game with the bomber plane in Battlefield 1. So there are three types of plane in Battlefield 1, the first one being the attack plane, the fighter plane, and then the bomber, and all of these have their own role in air combat. The bomber by far takes the most teamwork and coordination to keep this thing up in the sky, simply because you are such a big target in the air, and fighters are always going to go after you because you get so much points for taking out a bomber. So that is why you must have communication with your front and back gunner. So if the pilot is going to bomb a certain area, the gunners will know where to fire at. The front gun, which is an explosive cannon, the rounds are very effective for taking out infantry and light armor, but not so much for aircraft because it does have pretty bad drop off and quite a bad rate of fire. For the back gunner, you gotta tell him your every move because he's gonna be the guy making sure no planes are on your tail. For the bomber plane, there are three different packages to choose from, ranging from the Firestorm bomber, which just drops a load of incendiary grenades. Then we have the default package, which is the barrage bomber, which is 4 normal bombs. And then we have 2 torpedoes, and last is the torpedo bomber, which just has an increased amount of torpedoes. One of the biggest features on the default package is that you can take a photo, and that means is that everybody in the frame will get spotted. So this is a huge bonus for the front and back gunners. You can easily take out ground targets. So with the bombers, it really does take a lot of skill and a lot of communication between the pilot and the gunners. It's not like in BF4 where instead of you can just rely on your flares, you really do have to have a pair of good teammates who can call out enemies and objectives. In many ways, the bomber plays out like a less OP AC-130. In BF4, the AC-130 was an absolute beast with good players in there, and the same goes for the bomber. Personally, I really would not recommend flying low with this thing, just as it makes you a really easy target for AT guns and anti-air. So make sure you're maintaining a very high altitude and just keep rotating around the map like the AC-130. Keep rotating around the whole map and objectives if you choose. That's the best way I find to get kills. The only time I would really recommend slowing down or stopping the bomber is when you're dropping the bombs, just because you have a little more time to adjust and calculate where your bombs are going to drop. But just make sure you aren't stopped or very slow for over 10 seconds, because then you are a huge target for other planes and anti-air and other threats to you. So get the kills you're looking for, you and your teammates are looking for, and then make it back to full speed and a high altitude. So the bomber really is a huge plane, which makes it very easy for fighters and anti-air to target you. So make sure you're flying at a high speed and a high altitude. You don't have to be the best pilot in the world, but when you're with gunners, you will absolutely destroy the other team if you're careful. So guys, that just about wraps it up for this episode of The Upper Hand. If you enjoyed this guide, make sure to leave a like. Hope you're having an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Battlefield video.